welcome to Citizens of the Rave. In today's episode, we have Kytami and Phonic Ops.
If you guys haven't checked them out already, you should definitely go check them out. They've really carved out a niche for themselves as they play drum and bass, and then Kytami plays the violin live over top. And wow, it's a really difficult instrument to play, and she does it well. She's jumping around the stage like a banshee, and doing it perfectly. The two of them have done a load of touring within Canada, the US, Germany, the States, and probably more abroad than that as well. And they recently did a mix on BBC Radio 1, so make sure that you go and check these two out.
Yes, and also a big thank you to our sponsor, Paps. Today we're giving away more prizes. Look at this hat. We have a classic bandana. This black tank.
Ooh.
Go to our Instagram to find out how to win.
At Average Citizens.
Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show.
Cheers.
Welcome to Citizens of the Rave. Kytami, it's a real honor to have you here today. We've been a fan of your music for a long time, and we've known you for quite a few years. And first off, I just want to say big ups to you because, okay, the violin, I think, is rated as the hardest instrument to play, to learn. I think it's up there. It doesn't have any frets. It's super high pitched. It's very... I think it's really complicated and delicate and, very sensitive. So for you to be able to not only play the violin, but get up there, don't mind sweating, jumping around to crazy music, just commanding the crowd. It's incredible what you do. I've seen you perform many times, and every time I'm just wow, that's fucking amazing. And I can imagine that it would be really easy to fuck up a violin and make it sound bad. And I don't think I've ever heard that from you. So big ups to you, because I think that is, an incredible and niche talent that you have. So yeah, thanks for being here today. It's an honor to have you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. I think the violin is something you need to start young. It's not something you just pick up later. Well, you can, but
I can imagine it being much harder later in life.
Yeah. And I just grew up always played. So, you're right. It is very, very finicky, and my intonation is not always on point. Well, because you're right. You move your finger the slightest little bit, and you're not in key anymore. So yeah.
And when you say all your life, by the way, the pictures are so cute of you when you're a little girl playing violin. How old did you actually start? What was the age? 3? You look like?
Yeah, I was 3,
okay,
and I started at the Academy of Music, and I trained classically. And so that involved orchestra and private lessons and technique classes. And every summer I was in a youth orchestra and went to camps. And it was a huge part of my life growing up. But I always loved it.
Yeah.
I never really thought of it. Well, there were times the practice and the discipline, I definitely probably pushed up against that a little bit. If you ask my mother, she would say that I did. But I did always really, really love it.
Yeah. Starting from 3, in your memory, it must have just been always with you, right? So, why the violin? Do you remember? Did you choose it? Did your mom, your parents do it for you? Or what's with that? Why the violin?
My mom wanted to put me in music, and she went to the Vancouver Academy to put me into piano lessons, and they were full. But they said, but there's room in the violin program. So she's like, well, we'll just put her in violin.
Wow.
So
what a step of fate.
Happy accident right there.
Yeah.
Happy accident. And I actually remember the very, very first day that I started lessons. And they don't even really start you with a real violin. They start you with like a box and a stick. And I remember that. And it's a very exciting day once you get your first real violin.
I bet.
And I remember that too.
Yeah. Do you still have the box?
No, but I still have my first violin. It's like this big. It's like a tenth size.
Cool. So how long did that take, like from your first lessons?
From box to violin.
Yeah.
For, I don't know, maybe not even a year.
Okay.
I can't remember that.
Okay.
You have to play on a box before you get a violin?
You have to learn how to hold it. Like technique and your foundation is very important. And actually that's taught me a lot in all aspects of life. Just foundation, practice, and that can carry you through a lot of different areas in your life. Like if you apply the same like principles.
Yeah. Because even like the way that you like hold your head is important, isn't it? Like the tilt of your head. And your shoulder,
when you stand.
like, yeah.
Everything.
Never mind all the backflips you're doing.
I've now thrown out the window completely.
Like, yeah.
You fucking go wild. I love watching you.
It's the best.
It's the best. Yeah, it's awesome. So okay. So you start at 3, and then how long did you play before the whole electronic thing came in? Like 15 years then, or?
Yes, about that. And then I also played. I was teaching myself how to fiddle. I got a gig at an Irish pub, but I had this idea. I had this idea of the kind of music that I wanted to make. And I was very, very influenced and inspired by hip hop and drum and bass, like right from the get-go. And I'm like, how can I do this? How can I make this kind of music? Like I want to make the kind of music that I'm listening to. How? But no one at the time was doing it. So it took a lot of experimentation. Just at the time there wasn't anyone to follow really, and there is now, but when I started it there wasn't. So it took a long time, and I wasn't very confident, but what I was doing, I just didn't have any like examples.
Mentors. Do you like how did you even find drum and bass? Like if you didn't really have mentors or people to help you with it, like how did you find that sound?
Yeah, where did it crack? Where did the lightning bolt come?
So I was just going out to the clubs and out to nights, and like I was hearing it, and Matt the Alien was a big influence, and he showed me a lot of jungle and drum and bass, and I knew right away. I was like, what is this? I love this.
Yeah.
And
drum and bass will do that to you.
And then I saw Ronnie Size Represent tour, and he had a whole live band. He had a live vocalist, a live bass player, and he was on stage with his computer. And I was like, okay, this can be done live. So that was big. And also I saw some live hip hop bands that inspired me to sort of try to create a live thing. And I always loved performing. Even when I was little, I was a performer, always loved being on stage. I was always in the school plays, and I wanted to be able to channel this music and show people, and like what was inspiring and stoking me. So but again, a lot of experimentation, a long time of just trying things, and some things not working too well, and then recordings was a whole other ball game as well. So it's been a long road.
Cool. I recall you telling me about a pub that you worked in, and is that kind of where you started like cutting your teeth with like playing the violin over drum and bass? Somehow I have that in my mind. I feel like we had a conversation about that at a festival at some point.
Well, I was putting on my own nights in Vancouver because no one really wanted to hire me. So I just started putting on my own nights where I could play with different DJs.
Okay.
So there was that.
What pub was that at?
I did it at a few different ones. I did, there's a like Pop 340. I did stuff at. I did stuff at.
You said Irish, so I'm just curious because there's an
the Irish pub.
Yeah, there's one below
I also
us.
did an Irish pub in Whistler. That actually taught me about improvising and freestyling, which is another technique they don't teach you when you learn classical.
No kidding.
So also, like in classical music, they teach you how to listen, but they don't teach you how to trust yourself and just let loose. So that you have to follow exactly what is printed on the page.
Very formal.
So playing in the pub Irish music with like a guitar player and over like whatever song, whatever cover song, that taught me about improvisation.
Cool. Really cool. I love Irish pubs. They fucking go off. We live above one.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You know, it taught me, like, I would be playing and people would be buying me drinks and they'd be like lined up on like the side, like, and it was just crazy. I would like, I just had to learn how to play drunk.
It's part of the process. Foundations,
that goes
right?
with electronic music. If you're into that sort of thing.
So when you're making your music, are you doing a lot of the producing yourself? Like, are you getting up in the DAW and making beats, or are you mostly doing the violin sections, or how does that work for you?
I started out just going in and playing over beats. I'd have producers make beats for me, and to this day, I like drums are not my thing, but I do play keys because part of my training was piano as well. So I can definitely get in there and write bass lines and synth lines. And I've gotten a lot better at editing my own violin, and I love getting in there with I use guitar rig a lot on my violin, and you know, I can do some basic EQing, but I definitely work with producers and Phonic Ops in particular. We've been working together for I think 6 years now. So yeah, a lot has been learned in that time. And taught me a lot. But yeah, he's my main collaborator, even though I have collaborated with other producers.
Yeah, yeah. You guys started in like 2014, I think, together, right? Like, did you start? He started DJing for you first, and then you started producing, or was it the other way around?
I had always, you know, been pretty hands-on with things. He started DJing for me. Actually, he was doing hip hop, and I hired him and the rapper he was working with to open for us on tour.
Okay, that's what.
And that's how we met. And then we started talking about doing a mix together, and we put that out. And then we started talking about doing an EP, and we just I don't know, we have very similar goals, and we just really we met each other on a very similar level. So I don't even know how it's turned into 6 years, to be honest.
Goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, the look on your face, you were like, oh.
Yeah. I think it's actually been 7. It's wild, right? Yeah. But hip hop and drum and bass, I mean, they go so much alike, you know, obviously, right? It's like double time. And I never knew what drum bass was, but I knew hip hop. And the first time I heard drum bass, I was like, what the fuck? You just immediately, you know, it's like they go hand in hand, I believe. So makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I know. And especially like in the part of the culture is MCing. Just like, and there's a lot of similarities, but to me, drum and bass is like a combination of all the things I love. It's like hip hop, electronic, also kind of like punk.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say punk. You toured with like Dig Low Borsons, a few punk. Yeah, that's awesome. That's badass. I love it. I knew you were gonna say punk, but it is true. Drum bass is very punk.
Like jungle music and reggae and like all these genres that I really love, and just I mean, I like a lot of dance music, like different genres for sure. But these are the ones that really like grab my soul.
Yeah. What did you call her earlier?
Well, I don't remember what I said.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, I was saying, oh fuck, what did I say about that? Oh, I said you're like I said I just get so tranced out by your music. I said you're the Game of Thrones of drum and bass. I think maybe something like that. I was watching your the snowboarding video, and I was just like, I just felt like it was like an intro of Game of Thrones, and I just kept expecting a big dragon just to come over the mountain, and the snowboarders are ripping down it. What's that? Sorry.
Well, I gotta say, like, yeah, I'm a big snowboarder, and
That video is fucking sick.
don't have as much time these days, but for part of my life, it was like huge, like it's a huge part of my life, and it also influenced my musical taste because we watch these, or I would watch these videos, and the soundtrack to these snowboard videos, you just hear it over and over again, and you know that was. Yeah, they kind of went hand in hand, music culture and snowboard culture. So yeah, when we put out that video for Can't Look Back, and a friend of mine, that's all his footage, he was like, yeah, I can throw a video together of footage that we filmed last winter, and it's all from BC and all like stick snowboarding and
I love it.
and snowmobiling. Like I'm just like, it's very West Coast.
Yeah,
for sure.
Same with your dirt biking one. That one's very West Coast too.
Do you dirt bike too?
I've always wanted a dirt bike. I really one day.
This girl does.
But yeah, that's why. You have one?
I used to. Yeah, I grew up I have a family cabin in the interior of BC, and I grew up riding dirt bikes. I unfortunately sold mine. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
because it was sitting at my parents' house, like in my dad's shed, and he's like, "You got to get rid of this. Just sitting here, like taking up my lawnmower real estate." So
she knows how though. She can ride the whip.
I had to get rid of it.
More than I can say.
Yeah, I miss it. It's fun. It's so much fun. There's
getting out to the mountains. It's therapeutic. Just getting there and. That video came together. I did not know that the session that went down for that video was gonna go to that level. I thought maybe a couple guys were gonna show up, but when all these guys showed up and they were doing like backflips.
Oh man,
that was wild.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. That must feel good. That must feel good to watch that. Be like, fuck yeah, people come out and risk their life for you.
Just sort of. A lot of things happened that were kind of serendipitous for that, but it was this idea that I had that kind of just exploded into something that was even better than my initial what I initially thought it could be. So
well, that's usually how it works, right? You have an idea, and then you lay the foundations, and then it comes. It sounds like the story of your life.
And now you have a bunch of X Game music videos. That's the shit. I love it.
But as someone who, for you to like appreciate how much work and learning and foundational knowledge goes into something, I can see that, you would put that kind of effort into other areas of your life as well. So I'm not surprised that like the music video is so good. If you had an idea and you wanted something to work out, I'm sure that whatever you put your mind to will come into fruition when you have that sort of mindset where you're willing to put in the work and do the practice. I think that, a lot of people, especially in the entertainment industry, forget about that piece because, they want to be, they're looking forward too much, looking towards, the trophies or the accolades, the charting, the record deals, that kind of thing. And they forget about the practice. And I really think that to be in this industry, you got to love the practice because we have to constantly be sharpening and honing our skills all the time. And how much do you practice playing the violin? What does that look like for you? Is that something that you have to practice often, or are you just like,
I'm in the studio as much as I possibly can be. If I was a classical violinist, I probably don't practice nearly enough to be a classical violinist, but I definitely make music part of my, it's a huge part of my life. I'm here as much as possible. Yeah. Whether it's recording or editing or whatever it is, that it's, I try to make it a daily thing or every second day, or just as much as possible. But you're right. I actually, there's no guarantees with anything, but the only thing that I could really control is what, my skills and what are my output, that nothing else is guaranteed. And I never expected anything really. I always felt something was going to happen. And I've had enough people along the way that believed in me to get behind it. But yeah, you're right. There's no guarantees at all. And I actually can't believe that I'm still here sometimes. Like the last big opportunity that we had was we got to put out or create a mix for BBC Radio 1 a couple of weeks ago, and that just was an amazing milestone, huge.
That's huge.
Yeah. So I was really excited about that.
You can't get bigger than that.
Little things on the way that they're like, okay, like people are actually listening. So better do a good
big
job.
ups for that. Big ups to that. That's huge.
So
Radio
good.
1 is the biggest, so we've listened to that our whole life. So that's awesome. So speaking of work, how many violins do you have? Do you just have one?
I have one electric and one acoustic.
Okay. And how many have you gone through?
That's it. My acoustic is the one I've had since I was 13.
Oh, wow.
And my electric, I've only ever really had the one.
Wow.
And I would love another one, but they're really expensive.
Yeah, they ain't cheap.
It just hasn't been in the cards.
Wow.
I remember watching
That's so cool you have
you
the same one.
perform at Motion Notion, and you were wearing the coolest outfit. You had like your outfit was like, you had like LED strips on it, and it was all like lighting up. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And you were backlit, so I could see your bow was like, is it, I don't know what the terminology is, like feathers or the strings or whatever on your bow were like just like fucking frayed. Like it was like all over the place.
Everywhere,
and I was like, what is it breaking? What's going to happen here? Like, do you have to replace those often, or do you go through them in a show? Like, it seemed like it was like on its last legs. Like I was worried for you. I was like, no.
Yeah. It's called horsehair. And when I'm touring a lot and playing a lot, I blow through those things. And a classical musician will have one really expensive bow and get it repaired. I don't do that. I buy the cheapest bows that I can get away with, and I'll just buy a whole new bow. Because I just shred through them.
You trash on them?
You
is that why?
Shred them. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, that you do. I wouldn't be buying that expensive one either if I was playing like you. You're like, it's like a mosh pit on that thing.
Yeah, I'm not buying a $2,000 bow and like
every show.
It's so expensive, like a few $100s. So
yeah.
No, I just get cheap bows. They're like plastic. Pretty much. I'll show you.
Okay.
Throwing them bows.
So this is a bow.
Throwing bows.
Yeah.
This is the horsehair, and this is what I cut through when I'm playing really hard.
Wow.
And it just curls up at the end. And so it's actual horsehair?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I don't know. That's the.
Oh, I mean.
I don't know for sure, but it's called horsehair.
Okay. Sorry, vegans.
Yeah, no, really.
No horses are harmed. They just trim them, okay?
It's called the frog.
Or frogs.
And this is the tip.
Just the tip. There it is.
That is the cleanest one I've ever seen you hold. Like she's saying, they're just
Frayed. Shredded.
Wild, shredded,
absolutely shredded.
Which is so punk rock. I love it.
I have a couple hanging on the wall that are shredded. I don't know why I'm keeping them. Sometimes I give them away on like at the end of a show if it's totally done, and some people want to have them.
Hell yeah, that's like a drumstick, right? It's fucking awesome. It's badass.
Have you ever had like a bad like violin or bow like malfunction during a show?
Oh, absolutely. I was on tour in the States, and the jack on my violin just died, like completely died. But we were playing a show that we were getting paid the most money for. Like this show, I had to play it because it was kind of funding most of the tour. It was horrible.
Shit.
And my tour manager had the jack out. It was like a Sunday too, so nothing was open. Like no one can even really work on these jacks. So he had it out and he was trying to like reconnect the wires. We're trying to figure it out. Could not figure it out. I had a dead violin. I don't have a backup. So I ended up having to like set up a mic and like play under the mic. And if you've ever seen me perform, like, you know that I don't really just like standing in one place.
Oh, man.
It was very difficult. So I had to do what I could. I had to play under this mic and just deliver anyway. And I did it, and we did it, and no one actually seemed unhappy. People like were excited and kind of went off. It wasn't like a huge show. I don't know. There's maybe like 30 or 40 people there. I don't remember, but yeah.
Wow. Cool. Hey, you got it done though. I mean,
I got it done.
Got it done.
Improvising.
Shit.
That's where you
That
learn
must have
those
been weird
improvising skills, right?
Staying so still.
Well, anything can happen on tour. You just never know.
Yeah.
But I should have a backup violin. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like having a backup USB.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I was trying to think, like, oh, we don't really have. We got 4 CDJs, so if one breaks, we can still do it. 2 USBs can still do it. The violin, though, it's a whole world.
Right, I don't know. Some guys, some DJs, that use laptops, sometimes the laptop will just die. Or drink on it.
That's why we stopped using it.
Oh man, we had so many problems
like,
when we used to use Serato. It was like, I remember one time playing a festival and it was like a 45-minute delay because we just couldn't get our shit together. Like it just like
it's 7 o'clock.
Like, it's 7 o'clock.
Oh shit.
Thanks.
Thanks, Siri.
Thanks, Siri. But yeah, it was like we're downloading software, upgrading malware. We're like doing all this
in the bush. There was no Wi-Fi. That was brutal. Was that bass, summer bass?
Yeah, I think Ollie Play was playing for us, and he was pissed.
Was he?
Yeah.
Was he there? I thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was playing for
summer
us.
bass.
And we're like, play another one. Play another one.
That, I mean, you look back and you're like, yeah, like that was kind of awesome. Like, do you guys miss touring and playing shows? Like,
oh my god, dude.
Unknown. Like, you never know what really you're walking into, and that's what's.
It's our life.
Yeah,
hell yeah, we miss it.
That is the adventure of it, right? That's you never know. There's always this like inherent trust that you put in like the promoter.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what we're gonna walk into today. Yeah, we've had some pretty interesting experiences, as I'm sure you've had many as well. But yeah, I miss
that time
so
was
much.
definitely our fucking fault though. Like,
that was our fault.
We were like using a controller and a computer, and after that we're like, okay, that's it.
I'm pretty sure we were wasted too.
Yeah, were we? We never play wasted.
Not anymore.
It was like way out in the bush. Didn't we like wreck our friend's car getting there? Like,
start that way.
Sorry, Steph.
Kind of that way.
What's that?
You don't start that way, but it inevitably ends that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah. What a time.
How has the past year been for you?
Yeah.
How's this shift in not having shows and everything been for you?
Honestly, I'm just taking everything in stride. That's
a girl.
I'm not even unhappy. I feel so grateful that I have my studio, and I've actually been doing some interesting other jobs, and I've had some pretty big opportunities even with COVID.
No doubt.
We had a lot of fun putting together a video for the Shambhala live stream, and that was picked up by a promoter in Bristol in the UK, and they showed it. And then I think because of that, that's how we got the BBC Radio 1 mix opportunity. So
sick.
I don't feel really unfulfilled. I do miss traveling in a sense, but I think it'll just come back. And I just hope that when it does, that there are opportunities again, but I don't know. In music, you just never know anyway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just taking it all in stride, basically.
Yes.
Such a good attitude to have, and you have to, because if you didn't have that attitude, maybe you wouldn't have done that set, and maybe they wouldn't have picked it up. You know, now you're on BBC, and you have to think like that always, right? Even if it wasn't happening. So it's good to hear.
And I think that's why it's important to love what you do. You know, if you didn't enjoy it or have a love for it, I think that we're going to see a lot of drop off of artists after COVID, because, you know, they might not be able to stick with the practice, going back to the practice, you know, without the shows, without the rewards, the accolades, the recognition. It's hard. It's hard to not do those things, but I love your attitude. And I totally agree with you too. Josh and I are always saying how grateful we are to have access to our studio and to, you know, be able to do live streams and to be able to continue to create. And now we started this podcast, and it's really cool because we're connecting with you and other people from all over the world, which maybe we probably wouldn't have done otherwise.
Guaranteed not. Yeah.
So it's been a nice way
Very
for us
cool.
to kind of keep in touch.
Totally. You're finding different ways to connect.
Yeah, it's all how you pivot, for sure.
I do see people struggling, and I understand it, and I feel for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for nobody, but it's all on what you decide to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? So it's good that you have that attitude. Really nice to hear.
I feel like I had so many years of epic touring experiences. Like I'm like, that was awesome. Like, the fact that I'm just kind of getting to chill and hone my skills in a different way on, you know, in production. And even the odd live stream has been really fun.
Do you like live streaming? What do you think of live streams?
They're hectic.
That's a good answer. I like that answer. No doubt. Isn't it weird? It's only a camera.
I know. So hectic. I don't know. Maybe I'll get better. I'm not too sure.
Well, it's just like thrown at all of us. We're like, what? Okay, this now?
Oh man, we've made so many mistakes live streaming too.
It feels like 10 years the last year. Holy shit.
No.
It's weird.
I don't, like, I'm not trying to do it on a regular basis, and big ups to people that are doing it on a regular basis. I can't. But yeah, doing the odd one has been fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've all been different. Different people have asked us to do some for their channels as well. Last summer, we did a really fun one when things were a little bit more open. We went to my friend's backyard, and he has this epic pool and oasis, and we set up a remote stream from there. So
I remember it well.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, we were there. That was awesome.
Are you talking about Pemberton?
Yeah. Aren't
Oh,
you?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking one in Kelowna.
Oh, okay. Because you just described exactly Pemberton. Like they have a pool and everything. And we were there for that one. Wasn't it what's his face's birthday too?
Mount Doyle?
Yeah, Mount Doyle's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you play for his birthday? Because then the day before we did Rise and Shine, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, or the
That
day
was
after?
fun.
Yeah. But there was a pool. Yeah, that's why I thought you were talking about it. It's like exactly the same.
I know it was kind of the same, but
Yeah.
in Kelowna.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Cool. That sounds...
So are you guys doing, what's going on with Rise and Shine?
Yeah, well, because like you just said, it was a little bit more open then. So the restrictions are a little bit harsher now. So we're hoping that they loosen up, but we're not really sure. We're kind of waiting to see what happens in the next few months. And then, you know, I don't know. I mean, things in the States are really opening up, and they're announcing all these shows in September and everything. So maybe by then we'll actually be able to do something for real. But I mean, nobody knows right
we
now.
think of pushing it
So we might have to
live
push
stream.
it this year. We like doing Rise and Shine first, so June, kind of before all the big festivals, but we might have to push it, but we're just not sure yet. So yeah, don't know.
Yeah, we may...
Waiting on Bonnie. I
We
guess.
may have got a new location, which is really exciting.
Yeah, really exciting. A little bit closer to Vancouver. So
Yeah, so that's cool, which would be like actually our own. So
yeah.
we're waiting on that. So future years are looking really good.
Yeah. As for this year, we're not sure yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good that you're still talking about it, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll never stop.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome because we get to raise money for all the kids, and the camps are still happening. So yeah, we're never going to stop that. We're just not sure how it's going to happen this
We're
year.
launching an app
yet.
too for Rise and Shine, which is like gamified learning for kids. So it's basically like the captain's camps, but it's all on an app. So kids will go and learn, and then they get incentives and they win things like signed jersey from Jay Demerit, or like a Zoom call with some celebrity, or like a pair of Nike shoes or whatever. So it's all these incentives for learning. So we're actually just
Really
doing the
cool.
beta testing for it right now. And Jay's our partner. You met Jay, of course, when you came to Rise and Shine. Yeah. So, he's been working his ass off, getting it off the ground over the past couple of years. And we've partnered with EA Sports. So we've got a really big partnership there and sponsorship. So I think it's going to be really cool once we get all the kinks worked out.
Yeah, the whole idea behind it is so beautiful because kids are all, screens, right? So like how can we do something so they're on the screens but also learning and then, they can win stuff and it's beautiful. It's a nice turn for kids is what I think kids need.
And we get to Rave to
Less
send
video games.
kids to it.
What sorry?
It's going to be called the Rise and Shine app.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
That's pivoting.
Yeah.
Pivoting.
Yeah. Well,
Different way.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been on it since before COVID, but
Yeah.
and he's trying to figure out a way to like get kids involved because they're so stuck on these screens, right? But how to get them learning, but in ways that it's cool, for them, and they get to pick that it could be music or
Travel or
sports,
racing
travel,
or- yeah.
photography,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
way to trick those kids.
But yeah, Jay it wasn't like because of COVID, but it kind of was good timing.
Yeah, for
be
sure.
honest.
Yeah, he's been able to go head on into it a
Yeah,
lot because
yeah.
of this. Yeah. So
So what
Yeah,
do
go
you
ahead.
what do you think what do you think has been your biggest challenge that you've faced in your career so far?
Biggest.
Is there anything that sticks out to you as like a big hurdle that you had to overcome or maybe something that you face on a regular basis that's pretty difficult?
Oh my God, there's so many.
good answer.
I love that.
I don't
Ain't
even
that
know
the truth?
how to narrow it down. Well, I don't know. I would say even doing something a little bit different might be an obstacle, but then it kind of isn't because it's what has allowed me to maybe stand out a little bit. One of the hardest times probably was I was in a group called Delhi to Dublin and was with them for 4 years. And that came to an abrupt end. And I was doing solo stuff before I played with them. And then I was confused and I didn't know what I was going to do after that came to an abrupt end. And I had a tough time for a couple months. I was like, okay, can I still do something? Do I still have a career? And I had to really think about it and take some time. And then I was like, fuck yes, I do. Fuck yes, I still have an idea. And I'm not like, I feel like I still have something that I need to do. So I just put 100% into I put out an album right away. I started just playing shows. I reached out to everyone that I knew and I was just like, I'm still doing stuff and I want to still create. But that was tough. That was really tough. I had to like come back and recreate myself as a solo, like redefine myself almost as a solo artist. And I just thought that I would take it year by year and see what happened. So that was a big obstacle.
After 4 years with them too, right? You said?
Yeah, and I put everything into that. I had stopped putting out my own music and stopped doing solo shows. So that took a bit of time. But after each year, I was like, I'm going to give myself a year and see if there's been any growth or any improvement or any, have I reached anyone or have I, accomplished anything? And every year I was like, yeah, I took stock of what happened. I'm like, okay, things are happening. And so I just stuck with it. But there was a time there I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Was
that what happened with that? Was that something you decided to do, was leave the group, or what happened there? Everyone says this, but like
different, like artistic differences. And at the core of it, it was definitely that it was an amazing thing to be a part of. I've never been with anything that rose so quickly. Like it was like immediately we had one song and we were getting booked for big shows. It was amazing. We were touring all over the world. But I think at the end, we just definitely had different ideas of music. I have, I like things a little bit darker and a little bit more aggressive, probably.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah, and I think it was not the most amicable of splits, but honestly,
that can happen with so many heads, right? I mean,
it's for the best. It's honestly for the best that happened.
Yeah. I think that I feel like the universe is always like, excuse me, is always trying to tell you, like, it'll be like, hey, something's not right here. Hey, and then it's like, hey, hello, like this isn't right, until finally like literally like kicks all the crutches out from under you and you fall on your ass, and then you're like, oh, okay, got to start over again, and then you just build back up again. But it's like, if you had those artistic differences, and like clearly when you listen to Delhi to Dublin's music versus your music, they're very different things, even though they probably went together really beautifully. And because they have a violin player that they work with now. Do they have a violin player? They do, right? Yeah. So I'm sure it worked for them and whatnot, but like your soul was like calling in a different direction, and maybe you would have never had the courage to just like jump off of that yourself to be like, hey, I'm going to go and try this other thing. Or maybe you wouldn't have even had like the idea to do it if that relationship hadn't have folded. So I just feel like everything is supposed to happen,
100%. And that's why I don't take anything for granted now. And that's why I take everything in stride now. Anything that happened, I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And I'll work for it and I'll hustle. And I don't mind that. I actually like doing those things.
Yeah.
I love booking tours. I love reaching out to people. I like I like a lot of different aspects of the music industry, and leaving Delhi to Dublin made me better at some of those aspects. So
that's good. So even though it was one of your biggest challenges, you took so much from it and learned, and we're able to grow from it. That's awesome. If I'm like having that many heads and trying to make that work. Like, I'm always shocked when bands can be together for 50 years and still be friends.
It's rare.
Like, it's just, it's like, that is the craziest thing. Even like we were talking about earlier about bickering with 2 people. Never mind like 5 or even 4, But then there's such great advantages of being with 2, because when you're with one DJ or producer, you kind of like, is this awesome? But we can be like, dude, that sucks, or that's awesome. It's a huge advantage too, I think. Right? Being in a duo. Yeah. But there's the bickering.
It must be lonely for these guys. He's one
big time.
DJ. It must be a little bit kind of lonely.
Totally.
It is cool to share these experiences with someone.
For sure.
But I was going to say, like, big ups to 5 Alarm Funk and Tayo. He like manages, I don't know, what is it, 12 guys? 9 guys? I don't even know.
Fuck they're so awesome. Where did we see them last? At Ice Cream?
Ice Cream.
But was it Ice Cream or was it Wicked Woods?
It was Wicked Woods.
Wicked Woods, yeah.
Wicked Woods. Same venue.
What a show.
What a show.
I love that shit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right, exactly. Or like George Clinton in Parliament. There's like 30 members or something sometimes. Like, fuck, man. Like, yeah, wild.
I wouldn't even be able to remember everybody's name.
I think like I did a show with them like when I was a promoter back in the day, and like there are some people that were just there to roller skate around in bikinis. Like that was their job. Like people had the most random jobs in that band. That was quite the crew. Yeah.
He has a pretty crazy.
Sorry?
They all just toured together.
Yeah, he would fly around. George Clinton would fly around, but then the whole band would be on a bus. Yeah, he would fly. I picked him up at the airport, but then the whole band was on a bus. But it's like the whole stage was crammed full of people, and it was wild, man.
He almost didn't make it out of the airport.
Yeah. He was held up for like 4 hours because he was covered in cocaine dust. But he was like in a wheelchair. He's like 74, it's 3 years old or something. And I finally was like, dude, where is this guy? And they're like, we found cocaine residue all over him. Like, well, did you find any cocaine on him? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, can I have him? He's got a show. So they let him go finally. That was wild.
Awesome. Do you think that we've moved past, like, it seems like that was like an era where rock stars could get away with so much. They could get away with whatever. I don't know if we're in that climate anymore.
Hell no.
Yeah, well, the Canadian-U.S. border is pretty hardcore. Like getting artists over is one of the hardest things I dealt with when I was promoting, for sure. It's a headache.
Like partying and like
it's almost like they're not the same.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. It's gone very like clean and poppy. Sad.
It's sad. I do.
It is sad. Not George Clinton though. Fuck that. He's all about it. Yeah, it was a great night. The band had to start without him. So they were playing for like an hour and a half before we even got there. But they play like 4-hour concerts. Like it was it was a wild night.
He just started.
Yeah, that was a great show. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many members. They probably have a high turnover rate in that band, but bands that have been together, like the original band for like 40, 30, 50 years, like wild.
Speaking of band members, is your member hanging out there? Does he want to come and say
Phonic
hi?
Ops is coming back. He's always late. Always late. This is Phonic Ops, so we'll maybe stop to get gas if we're on doing tours. Everyone will get out, do their thing, go to the washroom, and he'll just be sitting in the car doing whatever, maybe on his laptop. Everyone will get back into the car, ready to go, and he'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna run in and go to the washroom." You're like, what the hell? He's always the last person out of the hotel room. We'll all be ready to go, and he'll just be like, "Oh, I just have to shower."
Yes.
Once,
just a quick shower.
We almost missed our flight. We were sitting in the lounge. We had like 2 hours. And I was like, okay, well, we better go. And he's like, okay, well, I just have to go to the bathroom. And then he was in there forever. And I was like, fuck it. I'm leaving him. I don't care. So I started walking. Then I hear our names getting called over the speaker in the airport. I'm like running down, and I see him way back, like at the back, like running back, like behind me, running, like, we were the last people on the plane. Everyone's glaring at us.
Shit.
So yeah, he's always like, I am late. I'm not known for my punctuality, but he's even worse.
That's funny. I swear every time we're in line at the airport, I'm like, I go to the washroom.
Every time.
It's because I know how long I got to wait.
But I remember we were, I can't remember when or where it was, but we were somewhere with Case of the Mondays, and we were all in the car together, and then we like stopped to get gas, and that's exactly what happened. Like everybody had like Johnny like pumped the gas, Duda went and paid for it, like they went to the bathroom, we all got snacks, and then like we're like ready to leave, and Josh was like, oh, we're just gonna go get some food. Like, what? What have you been doing for the past 15 minutes?
Must be a gene. I don't know.
There's always one.
Geminis.
Too bad
I didn't think that about you, huh?
He's actually
Is he a Gemini too?
He's very punctual usually, but
okay. I'm always on time. I am. I'm very well.
But when we're on tour, it's like
I don't know.
Brain drops out the back of his head.
We always make our sets though. Never been late for a set. We never missed a set.
No, we missed a set.
Did we miss a set?
Yeah, we missed a set, but it wasn't our fault. Our transmission blew up.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah,
we were driving,
that's the only one.
We were driving to go to just outside of Princeton to play. What show is it?
High Society.
High Society. Yeah, High Society. And yeah, we were up I have a cabin just outside of Princeton, and we were hanging out there, and then we like got in the car to drive, and it just like the transmission just like totally fried.
Right in Princeton.
And we had to take a tow truck like back to Vancouver with this like weird ass tow truck driver who was telling us ghost stories the whole time, and we were like sitting in the
it was alien stories. Aliens.
It was alien stories.
And his cat. He was saying his cat was an alien.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, this guy was a trip. It was like $800 to tow that fucking car.
Oh man.
And then our mechanic stole it from us and sold it for crack. And the police found it on the side of the road in Surrey. What the fuck?
Week. Like you could be stuck, like you said, in the middle of where it takes the tow truck even like hours to get to you.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of, if you have cell service to call one, like
yeah, we missed that set. That's right. Hey, there he is.
Ah.
Right, yeah.
Speaking of the devil.
Speaking of the devil.
There he is. Hello.
Late.
How are ya?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're really good.
Good, thanks. Good. You get your gas?
Yeah.
Good.
Gas. Washed the car.
Oh, yeah.
Sunny here.
Washed it. Nice. Yeah, it was getting a bit dusty there. It was raining for a while. I did the car wash today too. Like it's gonna be sunny now.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it varies a lot. Our weather's always like a little bit similar, but it moves really quick here. Like it'll be raining in the morning, and then it's sunny in the afternoon, and then raining again.
Don't talk about the weather.
Island life. Hey, that's what we're here for.
Sorry, Kytami.
You can talk about whatever you want, man. How are you? Good to see
brought
you.
in. What are you guys talking about? The tour?
We were talking about you actually, and how you're always on time.
The girls were making fun of us actually.
Oh.
Yeah, the girls were making fun of how we take till at the last second we decided to go to the bathroom for half an hour, or get chips.
It's not decide. It's like it just happens that way.
Fuck, it happens.
You know?
Yeah.
So how long have you been DJing for?
Man, probably a while, maybe 15 years or something since like first starting to DJ and get into it.
Cool.
Yeah, probably about that, 15 years maybe.
And how did all that start for you?
Really long time.
Yeah.
But that's just some of it was just like getting into it. I didn't really know anyone. I was into hip hop in Kelowna and just wanted to learn how to scratch. And then, just sort of learned from a few people along the way and kind of sort of a slow progression, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then produce. What about producing?
Producing, yeah, almost about the same time. But again, it was before everything got so big, and it was just kind of like downloaded a program. I was like, I think I can make hip hop beats. And again, just sort of like a lot of early years of just trying to figure it out myself and stuff. Right. And I feel like only in the last 5 or 6 years, I've been doing it properly and like actually delving into like sound and like, you know what I mean? Like fine tuning the actual sound and frequencies and everything and engineering.
Cool.
So, yeah.
What did you, what program did you download? I'm always curious. 15.
That was Fruity Loops back then.
A lot of people, we get that answer a lot. Fruity Loops.
Yeah. It's crazy because now like there's actually like producers I look up to who like still are on Fruity Loops, and like a lot of these things, even Reason, like a lot of these programs, they've come a long way since then, right? So what are you guys using now?
Ableton.
Yeah, me too. Like I don't know.
Yeah, we always have. I mean, I had Logic for a little bit, and it was just like, but then I just got Ableton, and that's what we've always been taught on and learned on. So, Cool.
Yeah, and we should take another crack at doing a track together, because when we
fucked that up.
We didn't know what we were doing before.
We had
now
no fucking clue. Well, we kind of do. Getting better. Yeah, we almost had one together, but we
have many of that ourselves.
We were not ready for you.
We weren't ready for the violin.
Years of us working together, so many ideas that are like good ideas, but they turn into such a huge mess because it was just like, you know, just didn't know what we were doing and how to get to the end thing. And yeah. Well,
we'll take the blame for that. I think like we were like day one producing, trying to like get in bed with you. We weren't ready, but the idea is fucking awesome. So let's try to make that happen again.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
So
we can bounce out like stems of like violin or something, and you could just have like a starting point too, right? With violin lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's what you did last time, but again, I just think we we just weren't ready. So
what happened was, I
love that.
think, like, I played in a certain key, but then the drop went to a different key.
Yeah.
And it was just
Yeah.
a key thing. It wasn't like an idea. And as an idea, it's good. Maybe start with violin and then go to like like bass house drop, but it has like in the same key.
Yeah.
We know that now.
And like, you know, it took me a while to figure that out too. Like what Kyla plays is often like, it can be quite complex. And like us as beat makers, a lot of us come from a sort of different, not necessarily musical background. Like I just made beats. So it took a while to kind of find how we can like gel musically, you know?
Yeah. And I had to learn even how to like, because I was talking about being able to freestyle and like jam, but to like rein it in and learn how to actually write good lines and hooks. That's been a learning process for me.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask you that, like when you guys are playing live, is it usually like all premeditated, or is any of that improvising on the violin?
Well, it's a combination. We will definitely have a set. And it takes a long time for us to develop a set because, we just have to know about transitions, and I can't play on every single tune. I like to find tunes that I feel that I can elevate. I don't want anyone to ever be like, oh, why is that violin on wrecking this song? You know, I want to find ones that I feel like I can complement and add to. And then, so we'll have I'll have go-to lines, but I might not play exactly the same thing in every single show. Like I can move around a little bit, but we definitely have parts where we anchor.
Yeah, and sometimes there's like a section that works really good, and Kyla will know like, bam, this section, and then if something starts to feel a bit stale, then we'll like update another part, and it might be her more on the spot freestyling. Cool. So it is kind of a combination, right? Especially when you're like out touring and.
Yeah, because we sit on this fence between DJ world and live world, and a band will just have their songs that they play every single set, but we're also in the DJ world where you have to have fresh. So we're really mindful of that, and plus we don't like when things get stale in the set either.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, like if I'm not feeling it, I don't want to play it.
That's really cool. So every show is like a little bit different. For all the fans that are following you around the country, it's awesome.
So how long do you think it takes you guys to develop a set? Because I can imagine that would be quite a bit of work to like find the songs that you can elevate, then like put them together in a coherent order, and then on top of that write all of your hooks and everything on top of it. So like how long does that take, or what does that process look like for you guys?
That off the top, like thank you for recognizing that process.
It depends when the real deadline is, really. When we no longer have a choice. You know.
But it does take time. It does take time because we have to we'll come to the table together. I'll be like, I found this tune, or I found these tunes, and he'll be like, well, I found these tunes, and then we'll have to figure out, okay, does it work in the set? We might take a chunk of the set that we used to play, and it still might be good, and we can just sort of switch things around, or.
I feel like we've gotten better now at doing it quicker, and we sort of know. I've got a lot better of an idea of like what she might vibe with. There's like generally something musical, but then still there might be like a banger that she doesn't play on the drop, but it gets us from a musical part to another musical part or something. So
we call those transition tunes. I might not have the best line.
Do you guys do you guys get inspired from your live shows where you're like, oh, what you did was so awesome, and you just freestyled something, you're like, and then that becomes a track? Like, has that happened for you before? Because I can, with the instrument in there, I can see myself being like, oh, damn, that was so awesome. Let's make that.
And in fact, I've been like, there's no way I can play on this tune. I don't like this tune. I don't know what I would play on it. And then he'll like drop it. If it's like a live show where people are going off, I'll like rip something and I'll play over it and I'll feel it.
Yeah. And because all of a sudden the energy is there for her, right? Like it's served up a different way to her, and then she's already flowing musically on something. It'll come and.
Cool.
But yeah, song ideas. It's funny, like the amount of times that we've had a finished song and then Kyla will play another thing over it live, and we're like, like, fuck, I wish that was in the main song, right? But it's like
you already released it.
yeah. And sometimes these things come after, but we're now we're like learning that we're like we need to almost have to create that setting to get that
flow
recording
state
out of her.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool if you're fans though. I mean, if you find that after, you could like drop that, on the dub or something.
Refix.
And then people like blow everyone's minds of a track they already know, but they, hear something you don't. That's cool.
Well, and for mixes too, right? It can like, it can take it to another level in a mix and stuff. So yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. So we were kind of talking about earlier before we got on here about like, challenges of being in a duo, and like sometimes we bicker, and
You guys went there.
and like it's an awesome thing to be in a partnership. I think it's amazing to have a support system and someone to like lift you up if you're down, or like keep you from launching into space if you're going that way too, and just someone to bounce ideas off of. But what do you guys, is there anything that you guys find particularly challenging as a duo? Like, is there something that you squabble on the most, or something that is hard
smiles.
for you guys?
Look at that smile.
We're gonna start a fight right now.
Who goes first? I don't know.
You
Going first is dangerous.
Honestly, I couldn't even think of something in particular. It's like just spending so much time with someone. Like when touring was happening, it was like on the road all the time. You're in a vehicle together all the time. You're in maybe sharing hotels, beside each other on planes. Then we would come back, and the little bit of time we would have in town, we would like be in the studio together. So like one of the biggest things is just like with anyone, you just get tired of each other's nuances, even it's like little personality things. It's like
and just for anyone listening who's gotten this far in the interview, we're not together. We're not together.
Yeah, it's like siblings squabbling almost, just like the most petty things. And
it's a whole different level if you are together, right?
Level.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, if you are together, then that's a bit different. Like those things are already happening, but
right.
like that's why you mention that, because it's like different, right? So yeah,
it is. Yeah, a different dynamic.
Yeah, and maybe it's because we both decided that we actually have something good here, and we complement each other well, and we have where our goals are the same, are very very closely aligned. So even when we have gone through these
micro breakups.
It's funny because in the end, it's almost like going through those things make you stronger.
Totally.
Later, like once you're through it, right? And it's like, things get super hectic and you come back. I mean, maybe it can deteriorate situations over time. I'm not sure, but for us, we found that it has made things stronger, and it's like proven that we, even though we're kind of individuals doing individual things, it's like we also do have each other's back, and we become very good friends through the process and through the grind, and push, even if sometimes it's difficult and we don't see eye to eye in the studio, we are both like pushing each other harder than you could probably push yourself alone. And thankful for those things in the long run.
Yeah, we were saying that earlier, like it's good to push each other and just not think, oh, the whole time by yourself that everything's awesome. So
and it's rare to find. It is. I've worked with other DJs, throughout my career, but for some reason, like through it all, like we've really stuck it out. And we both are individual artists, but for some reason, this is just, it's just worked out really well.
Yeah,
for both of us.
Just an interesting thing how both our goals sort of aligned, and I was wanting to take production more electronic from just doing hip hop for years, and she was wanting to do this, and I was like, for whatever reason, I was like, I think I can help you build your thing while also like building my thing, and we can build this thing together. And like it really just, I think it was like, I definitely bit off more than I could chew at the time, but it just pushed us both. And she was coming from such a drastic, like classical music background where everything was so complex. And I was making like loops for rappers, right? Just like beats. Yeah. So like a lot of
I was like, we need changes. We need to change it. We need to change this. And he's like, just play over this loop. I'm like, I'm not going to play over this loop. It needs to change. Like
every 4
But now
bars.
we found some middle ground where I'm like, hey, just loop this. I'm going to play over it and find a thing. And like,
yeah, and going back to the sort of bickering thing, it's like that would sometimes be what would be like the biggest argument is those two things being worlds apart, even though we both in the end agreed, like, and it has just been us getting closer and closer on both of those aspects, like, maybe just a loop because you need sort of a hook, but then also do need changes in order to make it not just a beat, and like how do you push me to figure out songwriting with her more, like how do these great rock songs or something get from this key change to this key change, and
so we've really broken down like songs that we both like and been like, hey, what makes this work? Like, yeah,
cool.
And sometimes I would be over my head, but I would be able to analyze it, and then she would explain what's happening musically, and then that just becomes over time sort of ideas in your head while you are working on something later, right? And you're like, what if I try this when you're stumped?
That's cool that you can bring those two worlds together. Like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But again, with no example, there's no blueprint of this that we could follow. It was we just had to figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
And honestly, like some of our worst fights have come before some of our biggest shows.
Yeah.
Like honestly, we've broken up like before some of our biggest.
You actually have broken up before.
Not really, no. Never lasts.
But
never
close.
Some micro breakups.
But then you guys have the same goals. You're like, come on, let's do this.
We're doing this show, and then that's it. And the show goes awesome, and it's
those words have been said.
Big high fives.
And we're never gonna talk again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's good. And you're laughing now, though. That's what's up.
Yeah. Well, she was telling me there's like a Rain Maida, who's his wife again?
Chantal Creve.
She was saying there's a documentary of them working on an album or something like that, and just seemed. She was just saying like even them, humongous fights just on. It's hard, right? Creating because you both have a sort of a vision, but even if it's the same vision in the end, you're not sure how to get there, and you both might have a different idea of how to get there, and it just right. It's like
it's so fun though.
It's nothing
like that Stevie Nicks thing that we just watched. What's Buddy's name? That was like the producer. And
Jimmy.
And he was Jimmy Lavoine, and he was kind of dating her.
Jimmy
Levine, yeah, and he was dating her, and but the fighting, and then all the videos of them in the studio it was awesome. But that's how the magic comes.
I know. Music documentaries to me are fascinating. I love them all.
We suck them up.
The
best.
Not just this polished pop product. Like it gets crazy.
You should watch the Defiant ones. Have you guys seen that one? The Defiant ones? You should watch it. It's really good.
Amazing. Yeah, I watched that like so many mornings. It just even like little clips of it, it's just so inspiring.
So inspiring. It's crazy who that guy's worked with. Like
I love his message.
Holy
shit.
John
his message
Lennon,
of like, just go, like make another song,
nuts.
Make another song, and then when you're done, make another fucking song, and then make another song. And he just like pushed people so hard and would do anything. Like the guy was cold calling,
Nine Inch Nails,
just like he
2
just
weeks
like
in the bathroom,
man, just like doing whatever the fuck it took for anybody. And I was so inspired by that. Like he didn't even have any skills in the beginning, and just like learned it all, and just had this like relentless will to just go for it.
That's the only way.
Oh man,
to do
I love that. I love that so much.
But
I was gonna say for Josh and I, like I think that we used to fight a lot in the beginning when we were figuring out what we were doing, and it was a lot, and we would like get into a lot of fights and have I want this song, and no, I want this song, and like in the beginning he wouldn't even share his music with me because he was like this junglist, like protecting his music, and I'm like, hello, we're in a duo together, like He was like,
this is because you got to say why though. Like,
because you're a junglist.
Yeah, well,
you were a junglist.
Back in early 2000s, it was like whoever had the dopest records, and we would like fight over them at the record store. And like, if you had that track, like nobody else had it. So my brain was just like mine, you know. And then this is like, it ain't like that. And like we're together, and I'm still like that. Yeah, it was fucking weird.
So there was a lot of like fighting and squabbling and bickering and everything in the beginning. But I think that now we're at a point where we don't get it. Like we'll have like little things here and there, but I think that the biggest thing that we've learned is this like openness to be willing to listen to the other person and just give it a try. Like if he's like, oh, this would, you know, this vocal would sound good here, or maybe like low pass the intro of the kick before the bass line, or like whatever it is, like, okay, let's just see it through without judgment. Let's just try it. And if it works, awesome. If not, neither of us are upset. And it's just like dropping the emotional attachment to everything and the ego and just like, and the resistance. Yeah. And just being like, okay. And then when we say yes more, then you don't become so attached to your idea. After all, you know, you're like, you're not just like, well, try it. You have to try it because the other person's just going to say yes anyways. So
more flow.
There's more flow, and there's more like, it's almost like more intent behind what you do, because we know the other person's going to say yes. So it's like, you might as well make sure it's a fucking good idea.
Yeah. Something with that too. As the person with the idea and the other one doesn't agree with too, it's like sometimes you just need to try it. Like you think in your head, this will be awesome. Like the song we're working on, I was just like, okay, now I can like take this bass sentence and I can make it more complicated. And she's like, no. And I'm like, what? Like, no, I'll just like do this. And I kind of give it a few tries, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. No, it's actually better just how it is. But like now trying that, I can like fully let go of it. Right.
Yeah.
Like
it's so funny. Those words, just try it, man. Just try. Can you just try it? Like, let's just try it.
Yeah.
And then vice versa the other way. I've been proven wrong enough times where like I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
And then you can be like, good thing you just tried it.
And then it's like, fuck, that actually sounds really good. You're right.
Happy accidents. That's like what producing is all about. Some of our coolest shit was like, what? How did we just do that by accident?
Like, I have no fucking
idea. I'll keep it.
Command S.
Yeah. Command Z.
Command Z. That's right.
Command Z. That's what she told me the other day. My DJ name is going to be now. Command Z. A more soft touch.
Yeah. Command Z was like the first lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told Josh that was going to be his new producer name from now on.
Command Z.
Actually, does anyone have that?
Pretty good.
I think someone does, actually. I'm pretty sure that is a DJ's name.
That would be a good name.
I'm pretty sure it is.
What do you guys think is the best live show that you played together? Most memorable, most energetic?
I think most energetic, hands down, was Shambhala Village for sure. That was like thunderous, and like, it felt just like a crowd of like, you know, just pure heads, and it was like, it just felt like every EQ turn people were like feeling, like every mix, it was just like in such detail. It felt like
There's two. There's one. There's a festival on the island called Tall Tree. And I've been wanting to play it for many years, and finally we got booked, but we got booked for Saturday pretty early during the day, and it wasn't the main stage at all. It was like this weird stage that was like really far up the mountain. It was early on in the day, and I knew everyone was partying Friday night, and I'm like, no one's going to come. Like, no one is going to be there. We're playing early in the day. We're playing this weird stage. No one even knows where it is. I'm like,
you had to like hike to get to it, and it was the first year that they had it.
Yeah, I was like, I was saying to Brandon the whole night before, I'm like, no one's going to be there. No one's going to be there. I was like bummed. And then everyone was there. Everyone was there. It was the first time I got to crowd surf.
While playing?
Yeah.
There's a wicked picture of it actually.
And the guy with like our MC, our hype MC that we work with a lot, Derek, he's like, okay, I've got you, Kyla. I'm going to go up down there with my boys because it's all island people. We live on the island. And he's like, I've got you. I'll make sure that this happened. And I'm like, this is the time. So and I've been wanting to do it for so long, but never had like the right crowd.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's so cool. I remember looking out and people were like climbed up in the trees. They were like, there was just people everywhere I could see. And I honestly thought that no one was going to come.
Oh, wow.
So that was awesome. It far exceeded and then another one was the first time we got to play Halifax, and we almost didn't make it there because Brandon went to the after party in Regina the night before. And we missed our flight.
I know how that
so
feels.
we get to the Regina airport. It's the smallest airport. There's 3 people in line, and the lady for WestJet is like, "No, sorry, you missed the cutoff." And I'm like, "The plane is right there."
Yeah.
Like,
small
You
airport.
walk to it.
small airport.
Minutes, man, by minutes.
We only missed it by a few minutes.
And then she just like straight face, like, no.
Yeah, no, and
No.
it
Probably
was
felt so good for her.
had to be on this flight to get here. Like the time changed. Like I had booked it so that we were actually rolling into Halifax just enough time to get there, get to the soundtrack, play the show. There was no room for error, but we missed our flight. But then we luckily the Air Canada desk was open, and they had flights leaving in half an hour. Oh. The only drawback was that we had to buy a whole new flight at full price.
Mm.
So we did that, and it had to go like $1,200 out of pocket. We made it to Halifax.
That hurt.
I didn't think we were going to make it, and that show went off. And it was so exciting because I just didn't think we were even going to make it there.
Yeah. So worth the money.
And it was
worth it in the end,
worth the money.
A lesson learned for me.
And that's love for the scene. Honestly, some DJs would be like, "Fuck that! I'm not paying that."
Yeah.
So
good
for you.
Yes.
Was it worth it?
It's your fault.
Was
it
worth it?
Was that after party worth $1,200?
Hell no.
I mean, I wanted to go. Yeah, I mean, the guys in Regina were such good guys, and I wanted to go chat with a couple of them. So, like in that sense, it was worth it. But I could have left 10 minutes earlier, you know? And
5 hours earlier.
We almost
always push it, and always kind of just make it. And then that time did not. And it was like one of those ones. We couldn't just wait for the WestJet next flight.
No,
we had to get that other one so that we could get our transfer.
Fucking Donna and Regina, jeez, come on! Donna. I could see the plane.
Karen.
I can walk to it.
Yeah, I know.
Give me a break.
We had to go like from here to like.
Yeah, this isn't Bangkok Airport. Like,
oh, man.
I can see it.
It was at like 6 a.m. too, so like nobody was in there.
Nobody was there. Know? And I gotta say, also another really great one was we got to open for Datsik in Calgary. We were on the tour. We had 5 dates, and we played, what was the name of that? Flame Central.
Oh, yeah, Flame Central.
I remember that. Was that his last tour where he did the Raiden thing?
Well, the one before, he still had that outfit, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But we actually got, like, because we were opening, we never really got to play for, like, people were still kind of arriving. But for some reason, we have a lot of homies in Calgary, and a lot of people came out to support us. And it was just an amazing venue with an amazing stage, and people were just out. And that was
cool.
That was pretty awesome. Like,
cool.
That it was a big.
It's really cool that you both have different answers for that question. And it's also interesting that your answer isn't village. That's interesting because, I mean, you know, we all know the energy there. So it's trippy how that's so different. It's cool.
But I think sometimes if it like builds up like that where you don't think you're going to make it or, you know, it sounds like, you know, if you have some sort of an expectation going into it and that gets blown, that's when it like feels the best. It doesn't matter how big it is, but it's like if you think it's not going to be good and then all of a sudden it's like amazing and there's all your homies show up, that's like
climbing trees.
That's more important than being, like,
that tall tree one was definitely that, and then like to have it be such a flip the other way, and then she's out there crowd surfing while shredding.
Yeah,
crazy.
I just feel like I was nervous at Shambhala. I was like, oh God, I hope this sounds good. I hope my violin doesn't die. Like I was just so nervous. and it was just like, it was almost overstimulation. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing, but I was like, I was nervous.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So, whereas I had super low expectations for all the other ones. I was like,
Yeah, and it was awesome.
You got to find a way to have that mindset going in with those low expectations.
Yeah, for the village. Yeah, good luck.
What do you guys do anything?
So
that one was kind of like that for me though, because I can't remember if we played 8 or 9, but it was still like kind of light out when we were heading to the stage. And I was like, okay, like it's probably going to be half full or something like that. And then like 10 minutes before we're about to go on, just like the sun just started setting so quick, and it was like people just started to fill in, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, we're about to play to like a full village. Like,
yeah, dude.
And that, like built up to that, and that was kind of.
And I feel like it was a testament, like not that we had, not like we had any hit song or any, not that we had a tune like that was really big at the time or anything like that. I think it was a testament for us just relentlessly touring. Yeah. Relentlessly just touring, reaching out to people, like, and having a reputation for like having like playing good shows.
Killing it. Yeah.
The fact that everyone showed up like that was I was really, really I was touched, really.
Yeah,
like
that's so cool. So awesome. Do you guys have a manager or agency or anything like that, or do you guys do that all on your own?
Yeah, on our own. Yeah. I have had agents.
Yeah.
I was with the agency group for a while, and they got us some shows out east. And then that sort of ran its course. But yeah, I manage everything.
Awesome.
Do you like that better?
I just feel like it's not that I like it better. It's just what I have to do.
Yeah.
Right now. And like I was saying earlier, I've enjoyed, I've liked learning about the business, and, I care about like us and our careers the most. So, if the right person came along, I would definitely hand some stuff over.
Yeah.
But just meeting the right fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say that exact thing. That's something we talked about a lot of the time, is like the right fit. And like a lot of times people come in and they want to get into it or something like that, or want to tour manage or something like that. But I don't know, Kyla hustles so hard for all of that for like booking and stuff. Like she's almost, I don't know, she was doing that before I came into the picture. Yeah, unless it's someone that is like also expanding you somewhere else, it is a hard thing to like justify having someone else do it. If you can do it better or do what you want for the time being, right? Until something else comes along that makes sense.
Yeah, and you got to trust them with your life. Like they got to be in it.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
You,
totally.
Exactly.
And it becomes the face of things in a way too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and your it becomes your face too.
You got to trust them, right?
Yeah, I think it's really good to learn everything yourself too, to like really know the ins and outs of it. And I think that if like anyone is, I just think that everything happens when it's meant to and when it's supposed to. So, if you're like learning everything about it yourself, then if you get to the point where you find someone or someone finds you, then you're better off to hand it off, because then you can still sort of watch and observe and know what's going on behind the scenes, because then you're less likely to get like, screwed over or just like have things not work in your favor if you have that knowledge yourself. And I think the best way to get that knowledge yourself is to do it.
Which happens so much. People get so fucked over in the music industry. It's wild what the stories I've heard and seen. It's fucked up.
Yeah, we do everything ourselves too.
It's
That
fun.
public attitude, do it yourself.
Yeah. It's fun.
Not that we wouldn't want to, but it is good to know the ins and outs and what's happening with your own business.
Totally.
It's important.
Yeah.
Totally. So where do you guys think the music industry is going? What do you think is going to happen over the next like year or so? What do you guys
talk about this a lot. We have discussions about this, but who knows? What can we control? We can only control what we're doing here.
Yeah.
What, and just keeping connected is important.
It's hard to know. Like, one thing that we have found was, like, pre-COVID, as cool as the violin thing was, on paper it didn't make sense to people sometimes from afar. Like, everyone was just thinking, the typical EDM setup, do that. And we have found that sort of with this and the streaming, for some reason, like, we've got a couple really good things that came through because of the violin, and there being this live element, because it was, makes it different than just like a DJ stream or something. And I don't know, it's hard to know if that will be a thing that we'll start to see more, like the fusion of live and electronic, if we'll see that more in the actual sort of dance world. But I definitely see that a bit more, and like already bands were starting to use Ableton a lot more to get their sound fuller. Using it live, I mean, like during their sets with backing tracks and to control lighting and things like that. And I don't know, I think we might see sort of the fusion of these two worlds a bit more. Do
you think touring is going to come back?
I think touring will come back. It's hard to know about the same way. I mean, I guess the biggest question...
Festivals? It's
the biggest question for all of us is are the festivals going to come back in the same way,
or
I guess?
Venues, like so many small venues are closing.
So
or
many.
have had to close.
Oh,
So
the numbers
I think
are sad.
people will want to party still.
Yeah.
But what is that going to look like?
Yeah. Well, I think June, July, August, September will show a lot of that, because in the States, they're already announcing all that. So we'll see if they happen, because they haven't yet. So if they do, and they're going to be normal, well, I guess we'll see in the next, summer, right?
They're announcing, but are people, what about the economy? The effects of a depressed economy? Like what?
Yeah. Well, they're pumping a lot of money, same as Canada in the States. The government's pumping a lot of money into people. Like, those tickets are selling. I'm dying to go to a fucking rave. Even if I'm not playing. I'm sure a lot of people are into it.
Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
No, there we go. Now it's 8. Thanks, Siri. We always bring Siri along with us, apparently. Yeah. But yeah, it's a very good question. Are people gonna still be as open and down as they were? I mean, everybody I know, yes. But yeah, I'm sure there's lots of people that are like, fuck that. So I guess it depends on your level of, how you look at this situation and your fear of it all.
What do you guys think?
I mean, from our circle and people we know, it just seems like the second we're allowed to do it, it's going to be banging, more banging than ever. So that's what I think, and I'm there.
Yeah.
So I guess, but that depends on the crowd. It depends on how many other people think like that.
I don't think that the digital stuff is gonna go away right away though, because I think a lot of DJs and people have started to create an online market for themselves with Discords and Twitch. And you don't have to have someone book you to do that. You can create your own Discord and live stream, and you can create revenue from it. And I think that a lot of people like, being in the comfort of their own home and watching a show. You don't have to worry about drinking and driving, and you can stay home and whatever.
I don't know about that shit, though.
I think that it's that part. I don't think it's going away. And then I think that we'll probably see more live streaming from actual events as well. Like you can be at the event or you can watch it
Which
live.
they had before COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like you watch Coachella on YouTube and shit.
Coachella.
Coachella.
So, but I think it'll come back.
That's where we met.
I'm sure it'll all come back. It might take a while. But I mean, I don't know. I saw this sticker the other day and it was the new abnormal. And I'm like, I like that because it's always been for us. It's always been underground. It's always been rogue. There's always been renegade shit going on. So it's maybe there's going to be a new renegade underground scene that's going to happen. Anytime something gets repressed, there's going to be some sort of a revolution or some sort of a transition or change. So I think that we'll see it come back, but yeah, like you guys said, it's so hard to know or predict exactly what's going to happen. But I think
We'll know a lot
just
by the
keep practicing and keep getting ready for it, and just enjoying the time that we have, more time in the studio and more time to create and learn skills and whatnot. So, but I think it'll come back.
I think it'll come back too, for sure. And I do believe, like, since the beginning, I was like, man, it's almost like a reset. Like, I think it will come back, and I think energy will be crazy.
Yeah.
It's just in what form it comes back might be different. It might not be the landscape that we knew before, and we can't control that. And our mindset, I mean, we try, just like you were saying, to just prepare for whatever it is, and try to be as ready as we can for whatever the heck does happen.
Yeah.
I think that depends on how much they can control.
And then,
Yeah, there you go.
I think maybe huge stadium shows would be maybe different, but I don't know, outdoor festivals, I just can't see how they'd be different. I don't know what are they going to do differently.
There's going to be,
I don't know.
Well, at the end of last summer, I put on a golf tournament. But it was a golf tournament that involved also DJing and music.
Wicked.
So
loophole.
People were calling it a golf rave. I don't know if that's a good thing to call it, but because it's the two things that I really love to do, music and golf. So
cool.
I've been in talks. I'd like to take it to different cities. It was important. It's open to everyone. I want it to be really accessible for people that don't even golf. And but you have a stage set up, and so while people are teeing off and coming and checking in, you have music going, and then people get on the course, and you can have groups of 4, so legitimately. And then you have also probably a stage halfway, somewhere in the middle of the course, and then you come back in. There's still music and happening, and prizes for best costumes, and
cool.
I love that.
How was that?
That was a fun time.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, invite us next time.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And then sort of DJs lined up for afterwards, right?
Cool.
Yeah. So the music is a big component because anyone can throw a golf tournament, but I think bringing it to the rave culture.
That was a pretty good idea she had with that, because it was you were allowed to golf at the time.
Yeah.
Not have shows, and it was good for a lot of the people in the music scene here, because it was pretty much almost there's so many people from the music scene here that would normally be at shows, but just all golfing and having a time.
Yeah, and dressing up, and we had amazing prizes cash prizes and other things, and
that's quite.
I wanted to keep morale up for our for our scene.
Yeah.
And I would find a way where people could still hang out and do something fun, and not just also just party, just not just be about party, but get out there in the course and
cool.
I mean, and I think it's an age thing too. I've not talked to one 25-year-old that's not sell me a ticket to a show at a club. They're not I'm not going to that.
We
They're
get messages.
Where
all
the fuck
time.
are they? So there's that. Maybe, I don't know, it's not going to be a bunch of, old people in clubs, but I think if a club opened tomorrow and there was a show, it'd sell it in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I think. I can't see it not. So
it's funny because
that's, I think, how it is.
We were before COVID, we had the Pemberton, one of the golf courses in Pemberton lined up as our venue for Rise and Shine. Because our other venue fell through. 9? Hole 9? But it was gonna be on the 10th fairway.
10th fairway, okay.
Yeah, and there's actually a big huge clubhouse that looks out onto the fairway, and it was gonna be open, so you could literally wake up in the morning and go and get whatever, have eggs Benny and a Caesar and watch the main stage on this huge patio, and there's a big river beside it and everything. But we went to go see the venue, and then COVID happened pretty much right after that. So, but that's really cool. We were gonna have some golfing stuff that was gonna happen too. It wasn't gonna be what you had, a full tournament, but there was gonna be a couple holes that would be open and whatnot. But I love that.
I love that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Music and golf.
That's so cool.
Speaking of music, what's with
Oh
this
my
track?
gosh, we got to play this track.
Let's listen to it.
Oh, I've got to say this track is going to come out on Electric Love Records.
Right on.
So, yeah,
Oh,
we're a little behind the deadline.
2 weeks behind the deadline.
When's it supposed to come out? So this summer then?
What's that?
Sorry, Ollie. When's it coming out?
Called Dead Batteries.
Yeah. Do you guys have a release date for it?
Not the full date yet. No.
Now that you're 2 weeks behind, they kicked you to the back of the line.
It's time to go. It's time to go to the bathroom.
Oh shit. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Doesn't sound very dead to me. Some lively shit.
Damn.
Loving that.
Oh, I could just see you hopping around the stage.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that again live.
So watch out for that on Electric Love Records.
Yeah. Sorry we're a bit late on that, Ollie.
Yes, sorry.
He's a very loving, forgiving man. Don't worry.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was like we didn't have the second half done, and then I was like, "It's fine. We'll just like repurpose the first." And then it just like felt stale, and then we started to change it, and now it became this like sort of halftime.
Yeah, we made it halftime
outro, and it was definitely the right call. It just was so a little bit behind in doing it, but
awesome.
Important for it to be right.
I love it. Thanks for sharing.
It is important.
It's fucking sick.
Can't rush it.
All your tracks.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
Of course. Well, we won't take up too much more of your time, even though I feel like we could sit here and chat forever. But we have a few more questions. So we like to do this like rapid fire question thing. So maybe we'll go one of you at a time. So I'll ask Kyla the first one, and then you can go.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Ready.
Okay, ready? So, you don't have to like rapid fire answer, but just like first thing that kind of comes to your mind, like what do you think it is? So, okay. Success is
happiness.
The next one is happiness is
Success.
Yes. Okay. Keep it going.
Okay, failure is
not success.
Okay, a great song is
failure is not completing the ideas that we have on the go.
Failure is I was going to say giving up.
Yeah.
Good one. Okay, a great song is.
Something that makes you feel something.
I was gonna say moving. Yeah, powerful, moving.
Love it. And last one, my advice to artists is
Authenticity. Don't do what you think other people want. You just have to like do what is authentic to you and what inspires and moves you. Just believe in that.
I love that.
I would say keep going.
Yeah.
Keep trying, keep learning, keep going. You just have to keep pressing on.
Yeah.
Through the hardness.
For sure.
Yeah. I love that.
Love both those. Thank you.
Awesome, you guys. Well, actually, there's one more. Okay. There's one more.
I was like, don't forget.
Don't forget. This is my favorite one. Okay. If you were a day of the week, which day of the week would you be and why?
Go first.
I feel like I want to be Friday, but really there's a lot of Monday in me.
Oh.
Cool.
Why are you Monday?
Why that?
I can be grumpy like a Monday sometimes, but I really also want to be happy and letting loose like a Friday. And I can embody both of those quite well.
Interesting. Okay.
A Monday, Friday split.
Yeah.
Interesting
Mostly
that you think
Friday,
Monday's grumpy.
Mostly Friday, I think.
Yeah.
I like to see Monday me more than others.
Great. I get to see the Monday.
Shit.
I don't know. What day of the week do you think I am?
Monday only. Just kidding.
No
just
way.
Kidding. Just kidding. Maybe I mean Sunday. Maybe I mean Sunday and Friday.
I'm a Sunday?
I was going back to me. Maybe I mean Sunday and Friday. Because I like to chill. But anyways, I don't know.
Dude, you can't have every day of the week.
Yeah.
It's not an easy question.
Thursday's cool too.
You got like the whole weekend. You're like a long weekend. You're like, I'm Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Good point. Good point.
Long weekend's a good answer. I like that.
I like that,
I'm a
though.
long weekend.
It's okay.
Right?
This Sunday of a long weekend.
That's fucking better than Friday. Sunday of a long
Only
weekend.
Sunday night. Only Sunday night. I feel like I couldn't be Sunday morning.
Sunday.
Sunday
Why
night.
Sunday night?
Sunday night when you have to work Monday?
No, he said it was a long weekend.
Long weekend, right. Okay.
Right, just freedom.
Now, why do
freedom
you-
to just do. I feel like Sundays are just open. You can just do whatever the hell you want on a Sunday, and no one judges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Like Monday to Friday, you're judged. Like you should be working.
Yeah.
Sundays
Yeah.
like that. It's like a flex day.
Yeah. Cool.
For
I love
sure.
it.
What about you guys? You guys got to tell us yours.
I'm a Thursday. I think that I'm like excited because like the weekend's at bay and I'm like excited to let loose. But by Thursday, I feel like I've got a lot of work done, so I'm feeling good about it. And I used to always go out on Thursdays. Like it'd be like, woo, it's Thursday. We used to have a joke too about getting Thursdayed at Shambhala. Like if you go to Shambhala and you get Thursdayed, you just like lose all your marbles on the first night.
Right.
But yeah, I think I'm a Thursday because I'm like excited. It's like this energy where I feel like good about what I've accomplished throughout the week, but I'm like looking forward to the weekend or maybe already starting my weekend.
You're a 4-day work week kind of person.
Yeah, sure.
So it's really your Friday.
Yeah. It's my long weekend every week.
And I'm actually a Monday, but for different reasons, not because I'm grumpy. So that's why I thought it was interesting. No, I love Mondays because, I'm a real go-getter and I find like, you know, I like new beginnings and it's just a fresh start to the week, and you can just, you know, wake up Monday and just go for it, which, you know, most people are like, what the fuck? 'Cause they hate Mondays, but I love Mondays. So yeah, I'm on Monday for different reasons.
I like that. I'm going to try to implement that attitude into my Monday.
Yeah, do
go.
it. Yeah.
There you
Sweet. There we go. Days
Well,
of the week. It's so fun talking to you
Where
guys.
can people find you guys?
Yeah.
Well, mostly on Instagram, I'm Kytami, Phonic Ops. On
Nice.
YouTube, all of our videos are under Kytami, and yeah, Facebook, Kytami, Phonic Ops.
Sweet.
Awesome.
And Spotify too, right? Kytami? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Get out there. Get it.
All of our mixes are under Kytami as well.
Okay.
And if people haven't checked out the BBC Radio 1 mix, it's still up on their site. And then after that, we're going to put it up on my SoundCloud.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, big ups on that again. That's
Hell
so
yeah.
cool.
That's huge.
I love it. You guys deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. It was really fun to chat and get to know you a little bit more. And I can't wait till we can hang out in person again.
Yeah.
So let us know about the next fucking golf tournament. Cause
Yeah,
we'll
I want to come
be
to
there.
that so
I'll
bad.
be there.
You? Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
They were talking about doing one over on the mainland too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're in.
We're in.
We're in.
We're in.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks again for this. This is
In
really
the driving
fun.
range.
Right
the
on.
sunset, like it was sunny out when we
Yeah.
first started talking.
Yeah.
Now we're
We
nighttime.
really went for it.
Yeah, it was great.
Hey, thanks so much for asking me and us to do this. It was a pleasure.
Of course.
And
Yeah, good to see you guys.
You too.
Too.
You too.
All right. Awesome. Well, enjoy your Sunday night. It's your night, girl.
And your
it's
newfound
tomorrow.
Monday.
It's yours too. You're all weekend, baby.
Yeah, and your
All
newfound
weekend.
Mondays, right?
Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and yeah, I hope that we see you sooner than later.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.